The shutdown has officially ended, but the legislation that reopened the government carries some unexpected twists. Lawmakers use this moment to push through 12 significant policy changes that reach into federal employment, food assistance, national security, technology, agriculture, and even areas no one would normally associate with a shutdown agreement. Several of these provisions directly affect millions of seniors, while others reshape how federal agencies function behind the curtain. And in just a moment, I'll explain the one section hidden so deeply in this bill that it even caught seasoned Washington insiders off guard. But first, let's break down all 12 changes one by one so you understand exactly what has now taken effect. 1. Reversing federal layoffs. One of the most immediate updates is that every federal layoff ordered during the shutdown is undone. Every reduction in force notice, whether for a full-time, part-time, temporary, or permanent employee, is cancelled. Agencies must reinstate all affected workers, restore them to their previous roles, provide full-back pay for the entire period they were off the job, and notify them within 5 days. For seniors, this is more important than most people realise. When federal staff are laid off, Social Security offices slow down, Medicare processing slows down, VA clinics slow down, IRS phone support slows down. Undoing these shutdown layoffs speeds up the rebuilding of the workforce so seniors don't face even longer delays for services, appointments, or answers. 2. States reimbursed for SNAP and shutdown-related costs. During the shutdown, multiple states used their own funds to keep SNAP operational because they didn't want families, especially seniors, going without food. The new bill requires the federal government to fully repay those states with interest. This protects the reliability of food benefits. SNAP is one of the most vital programs for older adults living on fixed incomes. Reimbursing states ensures that in future crises, states won't hesitate to step in to shield seniors from disruptions in food support. It helps keep SNAP steady even when politics get chaotic. Third, major increase in security funding. The bill delivers a huge infusion of new funding for security throughout the federal government. U.S. Marshals receive tens of millions to protect federal judges and top officials. The Supreme Court gets a new stream of dedicated security funding. Capitol Police receive upgraded budgets for protective operations, training, and mutual aid partnerships. And Congress receives money for safety upgrades at state offices and residential protection measures. This matters because threats against public officials have surged in recent years. And when offices or officials are targeted, ordinary workers and visitors, including seniors handling benefit issues, are placed at risk too. Strengthening these protections helps safeguard both government personnel and the people they serve. 4. New rules for handling senators' data. Buried within the bill is an unexpected provision governing how investigators handle Senate data. Moving forward, if an investigation results in access to a Senate office's electronic communications, emails, call records, or other digital data, the provider must meet strict notification requirements. The bill also creates a formal process for senators to challenge access if they believe it was improper. This wasn't part of the original shutdown discussions, and it surprised many in Washington. While it doesn't directly affect everyday Americans, it changes the internal balance of privacy, oversight, and transparency inside the federal government, and it could shape how future investigations unfold. 5. New limits on hemp-derived products. The bill tightens regulations on hemp-derived cannabinoids such as Delta-8, Delta-10, and other THC-like compounds commonly found in gas stations and smoke shops. Lawmakers argue these products have been operating in a legal grey area. The new rules affect both how these items are produced and how they may be sold. For seniors, this is significant because many older adults rely on hemp-derived products to help with pain, sleep, or anxiety. Depending on the product, availability may shrink, formulations may change, and some options may disappear from store shelves altogether. It's not a total ban, but the restrictions are much stricter than before. 6. Major funding boost for WIC. WIC, the program serving mothers, infants, and young children, receives more than $600 million in additional funding, guaranteeing full benefits through 2026. While many seniors do not use WIC themselves, millions help care for grandchildren or young relatives. With food costs rising, this extra support provides more stability, and for seniors living in multi-generational households, a stronger WIC program helps support the entire family budget. 7. Extended funding for major departments. This bill does more than restart operations temporarily. It provides full-year funding through September 2026 for key areas including agriculture, military construction, and the Department of Veterans Affairs. That means VA clinics receive uninterrupted funding for another year. Rural development programs continue without pause. Military housing and construction projects remain on schedule. Food assistance and farm programs avoid sudden budget cuts. This stability is critical for seniors, veterans, rural communities, and families across the country. 8. Continuing the ban on Chinese surveillance technology. The legislation continues the prohibitions that block federal agencies from purchasing surveillance equipment tied to foreign adversaries, including Huawei, ZTE, Hikvision, Dahua, and Hytera. These companies have long been linked to national security concerns, particularly regarding data access. The ban affects federal buildings, security systems, communications networks, VA and Social Security offices, and federal contractors. It may not feel like a direct change for seniors, but it strengthens the protection of the systems and facilities they depend on. 9. Congressional pay freeze. For the 2026 fiscal year, lawmakers will not receive a cost of living increase. Congressional salaries remain frozen. While largely symbolic, the move is politically meaningful. After a long shutdown that brought hardship to millions of workers, a pay freeze helps avoid public backlash and signals that lawmakers are not rewarding themselves during a difficult period. 10th, delay of an FDA food traceability rule. The FDA had planned to enforce a major food traceability rule intended to track certain foods more closely from farm to shelf. Farmers and grocery companies argued the rule would be costly and complicated. This bill postpones enforcement until 2028. For seniors, this is relevant because when compliance costs rise, food prices typically follow. 11th, new coffee labeling standards for Hawaii. The bill introduces new protections for Hawaii's coffee growers. Any product sold as Kona, Maui, Oahu, or Kauai coffee must contain at least 51% beans genuinely grown in that region. Previously, blends could include only a small amount of local beans, while still using the regional name. These new standards protect Hawaiian farmers and ensure consumers receive what they are paying for. 12. Agriculture added to national security reviews. The final major change adds the Secretary of Agriculture to national security reviews of foreign purchases involving farmland, agricultural biotech, or food supply companies. The goal is to prevent foreign governments, particularly China, from gaining control over US farmland or essential parts of the food supply chain. For seniors in rural communities, this helps protect local farms, domestic production, and long-term food security. Why this matters? Taken together, these 12 changes reveal that this bill is far more than a simple shutdown resolution. It restores jobs, stabilizes SNAP and WICs, tightens hemp regulations, oversees foreign land purchases, delays costly rules, boosts security, and reinforces protections across multiple agencies. For seniors, The most direct effects will be stable food benefits, better staffed federal offices, and stronger safeguards around products and agriculture. But the larger story is how much lawmakers managed to insert into legislation during a moment when most of the country's attention was focused solely on ending the shutdown. So what's your take? Should Congress be permitted to pack this many additional policies into a shutdown bill, or should major decisions like these be handled separately so the public has time to fully understand them?